Uh, Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the CKC channel, and we are still at it with the Paradigm Kings tournament. Okay, just trying to get my volume proper here. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we are back, and we have some critical matches. About to start. We've got 4 matches left of the day, but it is basically 2 mini matches between the top 2 players right now that are leading and then the bottom 2. So we are set up for excitement. And right now you see the 2 players as Henry and Craig. Right now Henry's got the white pieces for this one and Craig's got the black pieces, the 2 leaders of the tournament, with both on 3.5 out of 4. Of course, welcome to my co-commentator for these next 2 sessions. She's also one of the daughters of one of the co-founder of this this variant, and she's also done spectacular things on the chessboard, being the former zonal champion a couple of years ago, right? So welcome to Megan van Niekerk, also the sister of Robin, by the way.
And Lauren.
And Lauren, I had Lauren. I also told everyone Lauren's a sister. So yeah, welcome, Megan. Nice to have you on again.
Thank you, thank you. I look forward to this match, being the 2 players in the lead, so it should be exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to this game.
Great stuff. Good stuff. So we're happy to have Megan on board as well. Maybe we should actually scooch a bit forward if we can. So yeah. Okay, so now that we got that going, we need to just reset. Oh yeah, by the way, this was the final position of Henry versus Daniel on the board, guys. So the 2 knights prevailing in a normal chess position against the rook. Let's Okay, the time is correct, so we're just gonna ask our organizer Lorenzo to get us a random position. Welcome to Boom Shaka. Hi. And there we have it, guys. Just to confirm, you haven't had this position before in the event?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. So there we have it, guys. So this is going to be for everybody in this event. It's the second last match from now on. There's 4 matches left for the day, but for these 2 guys, it's their second last game of the day. Henry's got the white pieces and Craig has got the black pieces. So you guys can now mute yourselves, and Henry, you can start the game as soon as you are ready. Good luck. Okay, so weird looking position. Queen is right next to a king. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So Henry starts off with his usual e4. Megan, what do you think? What should Craig respond with?
I would say maybe my E5 would look like a normal response to do, something standard.
The classical response there, e5 is played, so very classical. I would tend to say that if you don't know what to do, stick to the classical principles. That's what I tell my students as well in a normal game. So that makes sense. Oh yeah, guys, and by the way, I've mentioned that Lorenzo is the founder of this PC30, and Craig, of course, one of the co-founders as well, and Robin, my fiance, was on the show. Lauren, her sister, and Megan, now all daughters of Lorenzo, and of course the sponsor of the event, DDG Beauty and Health, is of course the mother's business. So everybody involved here. So also, if you want to improve your beauty and your health, the number is over there. Drop Dead Gorgeous. The number is on top of us. Make that call from the safety and privacy of your home. So okay, so Banji says, let the fun begin.
I see, Henry's taking a bit of time to think about what to do in the situation. How would you go about it?
Sure, it's difficult. I mean, like we've said before, Craig is the one with probably the most experience, being the co-founder of this thing. So Henry perhaps a bit cautious, just trying to make full use of the white pieces. Of course, the next match they play, he will have the black pieces, and it feels like white has usually a nice advantage because he can make some mistakes and get away with it. On the other hand, black can sometimes get punished severely. So f4 on the board, King's Gambit.
Okay, it seems interesting. I see Banji commented F4 and then Henry actually played F4.
Ah, okay. Yeah, Banji has been giving some good pointers. And Craig accepts the gambit. He plays pawn takes F4. Okay, but it's not a gambit. Queen can actually take. So queen takes F4 on the board. Okay, so it seems like it's an easier task right now for... Okay, maybe F6 or something. I don't know, because I was going to say Henry can now get the dragon bishop out on G1 and castle easily.
Oh, yeah.
On the other hand, Black needs to figure out how to get that dragon bishop out on G8.
Yeah, so maybe F6 like you said.
F6, yes, looks logical. Boom Shaka says, Calvin, would you play a gambit in Paradigm Chess 30? I would more easily play a gambit on Paradigm Chess 30 than in real life. In real life, I can be quite stingy, except if it's a Queen's gambit, perhaps. Yeah, I think there's still a lot of scope for experimentation. Controlling the center is important. Sometimes you don't feel your pawn up or down. It's all about initiative and controlling of squares and space. So yes, I would more likely sack a pawn in this variant. Knight e7 on the board. Maybe looking at knight g6.
Oh, I would think Black would rather want to, develop the king side like you mentioned to castle, but maybe Craig has a few tricks up his sleeve.
Yes. Yeah, they say knights before bishops in chess. Maybe this is now him saying knights before dragons. Brapella says those bishops makes life interesting. Yes, indeed, Brapella. Welcome again to the show. I'd like to see Brapella use those dragon bishops. He's already so tricky with the bishops alone. So welcome everybody. This is the start of the mini match between Craig and Henry, the two leaders. They will later on play the second game. And of course, Watu and Daniel's got their mini match ready to go after this as well. Just an update on the scores. Oh, by the way, Bungie says Craig is eyeing long castling, perhaps. Maybe. But just an update on the scores. These two guys are joint first. Both of them have only dropped to a half a point. They are on 3.5 out of 4 each. And they're facing each other now. They're going to play 2 games against each other. Not immediately after each other. One now. Then we will see Watu and Daniel play. And then afterwards, Henry and Craig will play again with reversed colors. So it's basically a mini match to decide the tournament because the other two can't catch up. Watu and Barish will have their own mini match. But Watu has an advantage. He's got 1 point and Daniel is still on 0. So Daniel will have to get 1.5 out of 2 from that match. Dragon to e3 played.
Yeah, it seems White is quite comfortable in terms of castling. I'm not sure what Black is planning yet, but White looks pretty comfortable.
Yes. What Bungie was saying about long castling, Black will have to maybe play knight b to c6. How is he going to get the dragon bishop out?
D6 and then dragon bishop either.
Dragon to e6, yes. So that could have been a potential D6 setup, but instead knight to g6.
I'm not sure what Black is planning yet, but it's still early days.
You've seen Craig also use his knights a bit against who was it? Against Daniel, I think. Yeah, against Daniel, where his knights were bouncing around like in the Alakine defense. So the knights are quite the creatures in this game. Bungie says d6. Just controlling the center.
Okay, yeah, now it does look like maybe long castling is on the table since he is developing the queen side.
Yeah, I think I can take off my headphones for now because we're not going to talk to the players. And I am sitting next to you, so I don't have my co-commentator on Zoom right now. Okay, so Boom Shaka says, do you guys think that their prep was more intense now for this tournament because they've played the game before? Definitely so. I think in the first event that Craig actually won, we had quite a bit of a head start, I would say, just looking at or playing the game. Purely because it started with him and Lorenzo. So he dominated that gathering. And of course, there's also the 4 queens that played. So there's quite a few games that have been played. And there's been some trends that we started seeing with opening setups and so on. So I think that the guys that definitely do some homework. It might not be as clear because every time the game starts with a different setup of the pieces at the back, which makes it more difficult. Because you have to, essentially, it's PC30, so there's 30 different starting positions that you need to prepare. We all know the normal chess game with one starting position is already so difficult to prepare for. So, yeah.
You know, Calvin, you've been commentating on quite a few positions. Do you feel that there is the most favorite position, or is every position unique to its own?
I think there's definitely some favorites. Okay, by the way, you sound much better now without the earphones.
Oh.
So, but yeah, definitely there's some favorite positions. I think some guys would prefer the normal chess position or something that looks very close to a chess position, just because you are more familiar with it. Other guys would prefer something more crazy like Fischer Random, because there are some rules and principles in Fischer Random, rather principles. And these guys have been playing in Lorenzo's MRL paradigm tournament with this Fischer Random like position. So definitely some preferences. I think I would prefer the normal chess position or close to it when I play black, because it's easier to navigate, or it seems like it's easier to navigate. Bungie says, d4 is uncomfortable. Maybe dragon to h4 weakening king side. Aha, so we've seen dragon h4 in some cases. Craig actually played dragon to h4. Or was it Henry? Someone played dragon to h4 check against Barish, and it worked out quite wonderfully. So it's possible. The People's Patser says, good day. I watched the YouTube video you made on the Dragon Bishop. That's good. That's great. So I hope you got a better idea there, the People's Patser. Bungie says G3 forced, yes, after that. So then h5 and h4 possibilities. So you tempt your opponent to play g3 and then you go ahead with h5 and h4. Lots of possibilities here, actually. So knight c3 played. Black needs to decide. Dragon bishop to h4 looks cool. You could play d6. Boomshaka says, do you think the players have picked up certain patterns for certain positions? Yeah, definitely. As I said before, I think there's been some homework done, certain patterns. For instance, like c3 and f3. I saw from the ladies, Khadija used it in her last couple of games effectively. With white and black setting up c3, f3 with a huge center, d4 and e4. Same with black, also f6 and c6 with just bolstering the center. And then another way that I've seen as well is breaking through in the center with either d4 and knight takes d4, getting your knight in the middle, or e4 and knight takes e4. So there that maneuver comes. Bungie spotted it. Dragon to h4 was played. g3 and dragon back to e7. So maybe h5, h4 is an idea.
Yeah, looking to do a nice king side attack, shoot white castle.
Yes.
We'll see if that does happen.
So I don't know. Maybe white should keep his options open. Also eye the queen side, perhaps. Just how to develop that c1 knight. b3, e2. The c1 knight and the dragon on d1. So I would say Henry needs to develop them and think where to castle.
Yeah, maybe a dragon bishop e2 and knight b3 and then long castle. That seems like standard.
Yeah. And it seems to cover the vital squares, except knight b4, but we could long castle them. Yes, it seems to be reasonable. So Boomshaka is asking. Oh, okay. Bungie says ready for long castle. Yes, black is indeed so. Boomshaka is saying, sorry. So you would say 2 knights are better than 1 dragon bishop. We saw Henry showing that in the one game. Depends on the position. If the knights have good squares, I think it's definitely the case. Henry won a nice game against Watu, with the 2 knights dominating against the dragon bishop. But sometimes the dragon bishop can be powerful as well. I think it depends on the knights, what they are doing. Prapela says white is better here. The e4 pawn controls everything. Prapela, of course, part of the classical school of thought. Control the center, control everything. So yeah, it does look good. But it might not be as clear cut as that. There's lots of dynamics. Watu actually played an interesting game against Henry where he gave the center to Henry and later on broke with g5 and stuff. I think he lost that game eventually, but it was not so clear actually. But white does look good with his big center for now.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm looking at f6 for black also.
I think f6 is very natural, yes.
Yeah.
For the dragon bishop on g8 to come out. And to control a bit of the center. Rosemoon says d4 for the center. Yes, d4 was played, preventing castling because of d5. So if black long castles d5 and that a7 pawn is going to hang. It reminds me of a game, I think it was Lauren that played, the Four Queens champion that played in the Four Queens where she long castled and then someone grabbed on a7. I think it was against Khadija.
Oh yes, I remember that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Khadija had a nice advantage there, but I think, with time pressure and things, she slipped up there. But it was a very good game.
Yeah. Both having their chances, but you need to take your chances. Like what you said, it's a rapid, so you can't play 100% accurate all the time.
Yeah, and it's very easy to flip also with advantage, with the dragon bishops, because, yeah, they can be tricky sometimes.
Yes, and I got Rosemoon saying me with a frown. But yeah, I remember that was your game. You had the advantage, but yeah, tough. Banshee says dragon to f2 bluff.
Dragon f2. Oh, in that game.
Oh,
that we are referring to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, in that game, okay.
Seems like Banshee has a very good memory, eh?
Yes. Welcome to Pornhub Chess for following. Welcome to the show. We are just we have kind of started for a while now with the Henry versus Craig mini match. Which match is this? This is number 9, I think. Yes, number 9. So there's 4 matches to go. This is number 9. Of course, the whole tournament is 12 matches. So yes, and it's 15 minutes aside with a 15-second increment. Henry's on 12 minutes. Craig is on 6.5. So Craig has spent some time and he goes for it. He long castles, inviting d5. So remember, after dragon takes a7, it still won't be check.
Yeah, because of the b7 pawn.
But it is not something you want to just easily allow.
Wait, but in this situation, for example, if d5, but the knight moves away, but that a7 pawn would be hanging then. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yes, but still, I mean, d5. Maybe Craig wants to get these squares. The knight can go to e5. There's possibilities of knights jumping to g4, or he's looking for. Definitely, it'll look better in the center, but is it worth a7 pawn? Rosemoon says knight to d5, just hitting the dragon bishop. That also looks interesting. So not interested in the a7 pawn, knight d5 instead. Knight d5. But if dragon to b4, then you can just take the dragon. So no need for c3.
Would you say it's difficult for black to get the advantage compared to classical chess?
I don't know. It's difficult. Yes, I wouldn't say it's difficult to get advantage. It's easy to give a big advantage. So I guess it's also easy to collect an advantage. So I think that's so heavier. Anyone can give the advantage away, but I think black has more chances of slipping up earlier on. Yes, that's why I think Craig is doing this, because he feels more under pressure. With the black pieces, white gets the center. You don't see black doing this with the center usually, so it is more difficult. Yeah, I guess short answer. So Bungie thinks that knight d5 was better. Pawn to d5 is played. So Henry giving some squares in the center, but it seems like he has been seduced by the free guy on a7. And I stand corrected. He doesn't even grab it. He goes dragon to e2. So what is the motivation behind pushing them? Giving black the e5 square.
Maybe just wants to open up the diagonals towards the queen side.
Yeah. But black couldn't play d5 though, so I don't see him closing it yet. But okay. h5 is on the board. So that idea of Bungie coming through.
I think black is planning maybe dragon h7. Just to eye that e4 pawn in the long term.
Could be, and it can maybe even jump to g5 from there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, knight to b3 played. It does seem like Henry's got a lot of pieces aiming towards the black king though. And he can long castle, so maybe black's pieces are on the king side, but the white king is gonna go queen side. Rosemoon says dragon to a6. If takes on a6 and dragon a7 is mate. Shoo. Is that true? Can't the king go to b7? That's what I thought, but the dragon to g4 played anyway. Wait, is this?
Oh, did he?
What just happened?
He took the knight.
Oh, he took. So knight to g4, dragon takes g4.
That's interesting.
Okay, so Henry's idea is to play queen takes a7 and threaten mate with the queen. So he's sacrificing his dragon for the knight, because it seemed like Craig was just forking the two. So Henry willingly allowing that. That was the other idea, of course, with h5 that we forgot about.
Okay, so h takes g, then dragon takes. Is that the plan?
Now h takes g, then queen takes a7.
But then
So
surely mate can be prevented.
I think so. But how do you prevent mate?
Okay.
Mr. Hub says, I was born in 1992. Okay. 1992. Okay. Bungie says dragon sack. Yeah, it's a beautiful. You don't see it often. Funny, Bungie says looks like a Khadijah's game. Some similarities. But Craig thinking now is pausing because but still, do you not accept the dragon? You are piece down if you don't take it. But if takes, then queen takes a7 and mate is being threatened. You can't go d6 because dragon takes g4 but you can still block with f5. So maybe it's just making sure if he's not 100% dead after accepting the dragon, then it's okay. And he declines and he says, okay.
Ouch.
It's not easy to do this, but it's at least not dying immediately.
Yeah, I think maybe black might have missed that dragon takes g4. I mean, g4 looked nice to play, But I think you just missed that dragon takes g4.
I think you missed the queen, yeah,
With the
jumping
queen,
in.
yes.
Because the queen is more effective on a7 than the dragon. And Henry just retracts the dragon and says, okay, I cashed in on an extra piece. And Rosemond says, I hope he revenge my game law. Okay. Of course, Rosemoon is partner in crime with Henry, of course, on Leeches is Moonlight. So knight to e5. And it's difficult to do this, what Craig is doing. It is difficult to just accept what you did and continue, but that's what he has to do. And he's gonna try to make a fight of this. There's still 2 dragon bishops or 4 dragon bishops on the board. So is Henry gonna play a4 and try to blast open the? Okay, but it's correct to play. He had to play h3 to stop that idea.
Okay, rook h6. That's interesting.
Black is coming. Black has to find some play now.
Yeah, black can't be passive in this situation.
No.
Needs to push.
Boomshaka says dragon to a6 check, yes, and then king b8. It won't be checkmate. If the dragon could jump over pawns, it would have been mate. But dragon a6 does look dangerous. King b8, but how to continue?
Yeah, maybe a4, like you mentioned. a4 seems like a nice move to play, you know, trying to open up the files against the queen side.
Yeah, it does look nice, but on the other hand, then you're burning bridges on both sides. Then it's not so easy to castle long. So it seems like an exciting thing to look at. But do you have to go that dramatic if you are a piece up? So I guess Henry just chooses the sober way to continue and says, okay, my king is safe. I'm a knight up. What next? Boomshaka says knight to g5. I guess knight b5. Rook d4, rook a4 is also suggested. And knight b5 would threaten d6. Yes, that seemed like a cool idea. Yeah, that really seemed cool. Dragon a6 and knight b5 and d6 perhaps. But now Craig plays another pawn move in front of the king. c5. And one can just but wonder if this is good now to push pawns in front of his king. Yeah, the people's Patsa also has this idea: rook takes a pawn to d6. White has already long castled, and black wanted to play a rook takes now. He's hesitating, but okay, Craig is on 3 minutes. He's under pressure. He's a piece down. He needs to find counterplay. Rook takes does seem like the way to go, at least to create some visuals of a threat, at least. Knight d5, threatening the dragon bishop. And Rosemoon spots it.
Yeah, I don't know how black's gonna come up from this position.
Yeah, it's difficult, but still these guys usually force you to find the finishing touch. So Craig is not just going to hand over the point. He's gonna force Henry to come and get it. People's Patsa says black is lost. Yes, but you need to find more moves. What should black do? Dragon to d6. Oof. Looks risky because if you move the knight, then the dragon is again on fire. How about dragon to a6 check? Oh, no. But the queen is still covering. I want to play dragon to a6 check and then knight b4. But the queen and bishop is still covering b4. So we need more protection. Maybe a3. Don't want to push pawns in front of the king, but maybe a3 threatening knight b4, attacking the rook and the dragon bishop. But yeah. Boomshaka says white threat G6 sack after dragon A6. Maybe B6 sack. That's what you mean. So after dragon A6, then maybe a sack on B6. But your dragon is going to hang on A6 if black plays rook takes. So it seems very tempting. But I'm sure Henry's not going to be reckless. He's got an extra piece, so he's going to calculate. He's got way more time. The people's spots are suggesting knight takes b6 immediately, and then the rook takes b6. And then what? Panji says dragon a6 check, and then knight a5. Okay. And then pawn takes a5.
Then dragon takes a7 check.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
And then king a8. And then what? Looks very pretty, but now what? It looks tempting. It's very tempting. Boomshaka says then take the rook. So take on... Oh, take the rook with your dragon. Ah, so she says dragon a6 check, king b8, knight takes b6, rook takes, dragon takes b6, pawn takes, queen takes b6 check.
No, but can't pawn not take because the dragon is on a6. So if pawn takes, won't that be check?
Ah, that's the whole point.
So then you can't take the back on b6.
Nice. Okay. So even that is possible. Well spotted. Bungie says then sack on b6. Yeah, looks like the chat box is confirming a sack on b6 here. Boomshaka says yes, Rose Moon. What did the Rose Moon say? Did I miss something? Okay. Maybe there's something. Nightbot said that no, stop with the caps. Sorry guys, Nightbot can be a bit rude sometimes. Dragon a6 first, yes. So Henry taking his time here again is trying to get the most out of this position. He senses that the time is now to make sure he doesn't give his opponent anything. His knight is beautiful on d5. His king is relatively safe. His dragon bishops are poised. There's weaknesses around the black king. It's a bit airy around the black king. So he's taking his time. He's sizing up the situation. And Roseman says you also ask for the dragon. Yes.
Yeah, I think Henry's also just finding a nice way to polish up the game. I mean, he has time on his side, so...
Yeah. Bungie claiming that dragon a6 and knight b6 is it. Boomshaka also came up with that. So dragon a6 on the board, king b8. And dragon takes b6 being played, not knight takes b6. Wow. So sacking the dragon basically for the rook if it takes. So it's the second time in the game where Henry is asking black to take a dragon. So notice guys, pawn takes dragon, like Megan pointed out, is not possible. The pawn is pinned on a7 because then the dragon on a6 will be able, is opened up towards the black king.
I don't even think black can take that b6 because queen takes.
So rook takes dragon, queen takes, king a8.
Then mate.
But the dragon on d6 is covering b7 though.
Didn't see that.
Is he planning knight c7 check? That's why Henry is keeping the knight on the board.
And then forcing the dragon to take c7 and then queen b7 check, mate.
Ah, yes. Beautiful. That's a forced mate. Nice. I want to still take the dragon, but yeah, just mate. Nice. To be honest, I wish I could do all of this in my games.
Don't worry, Rose Moon. I think Henry still is taking the revenge, like you mentioned.
An interesting battle, yeah. From the two sides. So black is under pressure. What else can you do? You can't accept the dragon on b6. It's forced mate.
But you can't leave it either. I mean, white's coming.
Yeah, bishop takes a6. Dragon bishop takes a6 is, I guess, it's the first threat. And the black king's fortress is melting away from the fire. Two dragons staring at your king. So, yeah, it's going to be tough for Craig now because, okay, at least he's got the white pieces after this. So, if Henry converts this, then it's going to be a must-win situation for Craig to stay in it for first place. Pawn to f5. Some hope of or desperation of just getting some activity. Maybe to deflect the queen after fe. Maybe to take the knight on d5 with your dragon. Dragon takes d5 and then you can maybe take on b6. Dragon a7 in the chat. King a8 and then what? How do you finish? Knight b6? No. Then king takes dragon on a7.
If dragon back to b6, check.
It's like you know what to do with the dragons.
I'm trying.
So dragon back to b6, rook takes, and then queen in again, threatening knight c7 with mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be lethal.
Yeah, just a pity that the dragon on g8 came in a bit late.
Ooh. Even after dragon a7, I don't know if this is what Bungie means, but after dragon a7, king a8, queen b6 immediately.
If rook takes, then
And
dragon takes mate. Oh, wow.
Wow. But okay, what if dragon takes knight? Maybe it's a bit too chaotic. We can still do it the normal way. So easy that we miss these dragon tactics. This is critical. Yeah, Craig is on 31 seconds. Henry is pondering here on 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Dragon a7 check. King a8. Knight b6 check. Okay, giving up the dragon on a7. King takes a7. Knight c8 double check.
King takes dragon? Whoa,
If
whoa.
king to b8, then queen a7 mate. King takes dragon, and then what? Queen a7, king b5.
The knight d...
King c4, where's the mate? Rook d4 mate. King c4, rook d4 mate. Okay, and the game is done. Wow, what a finish. Yeah, so Megan won't be able to hear them now, but maybe you can ask the question, Megan. But let's just get the players on. Guys, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, wow. Crazy game. Well done, Henry, on that victory. Tough one, Craig. Some calculation there at the end. We were pondering on various sacrifices, but so Henry, maybe my first question is, did you anticipate this after h5, this knight g4, this dragon sack, or did it?
Yeah, I don't think it's really a sacrifice. I think he missed that I can take with the e3 dragon.
Yeah.
And then I open up my queen to take on a7.
a7. So tell me, did both of you players evaluate after queen a7? Is it just dead? Is it a forced mate, or is there no way to escape?
I think, I mean, he has to play d6, I guess, and then dragon goes to b5, and that king is just...
I was looking at dragon g4, but yeah, dragon b5 seems nice.
Dragon g4, he's still got f5. Because the dragon on e7.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, is it really dead? But okay, dragon b5 does seem...
it reminded me a lot of Khadijah's game against Lauren, actually.
Yeah,
we were actually talking about that, during the game. Very interesting, So Craig, what's your thoughts on the game? You once again gave the center to your opponent, just like I think against Parrish or someone. Was it necessary to sack the A7 pawn? Did you feel like it's necessary with the timing and everything? Could you not maybe prevent that? Or
The A7 pawn
yeah,
when he captured my knight on G4.
yeah, maybe even a bit earlier, because I suppose when you played Long Castle, you offered that A7 pawn up.
Oh yeah, I'm not afraid of the dragon coming in because
Ah.
that doesn't do much harm.
So
But the
you just
queen,
missed the queen coming in.
yeah, I missed dragon on E3 taking my knight on
Yeah,
G4.
so that was just the turnaround of the whole game.
Yeah, but I didn't get out of the starting blocks quick enough. I thought maybe knight E7, knight G6. I get a tempo on the queen, but then the knights look a bit funny because they're not controlling.
Yeah,
Yeah, the knight's on
Yeah.
like G6. I mean, once I get my pawn on D4, it's hard to find good
Yeah, I
squares for the
realized
knights.
that afterwards that
Yeah.
these pieces are not coordinating. But I mean, it seemed like a good idea at the time to go knight E7 to attack you and possibly stuff an H4 and
Yeah.
I was always trying to get a tempo on the queen, but how? That was the only way I thought possible. Maybe I
yeah.
should leave and catch the queen later with a tempo.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I think that's one of the more difficult positions maybe for black, because if it feels very easy to get E4 and then either like F4 and D4 or some kind of center. It feels hard for black to stop that.
Yeah, and
That was E5.
you almost feel like with black you want to you almost forced to go into these into these complications, because white is just pressing with the space earlier on.
Yeah.
So yeah, but all in all, a very interesting game. Some dragon sacrifices there by Henry. A nice finish, but so that's the first start. Craig will of course have the white pieces in their last encounter of the day. Henry takes a lead in this mini match. So well done, Henry. Tough luck, Craig. And yeah, you guys can now rest for about an hour. When we come back, guys, it's gonna be a very short break. Then Daniel and Watu will start with their mini match, but all to play for still. So yeah, thanks for the entertainment, guys, and we will see you pretty soon. And to the viewers, we will see you after a short break. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Cheers.
God bless
Cheers.
you.